Hey there, Money Loop family. Don't forget to subscribe for smarter financial success. Let's dive into today's money strategy. The government is hiding something from you. It's a blueprint, a plan that could make college tuition free for millions and put an end to the student debt crisis for good. That number you keep hearing about, that colossal weight on an entire generation? It's very real. The total student loan debt in the United States is sitting at a staggering $1.77 trillion. It's a crisis that dictates where you live, if you can buy a house, when you can start a family, what dreams you can even afford to chase. It's a system designed to feel inescapable. So why isn't this plan to fix it front page news? Because there are powerful forces profiting from the broken system, and they'd prefer to keep this blueprint buried. They thrive on the complexity, the confusion, and the hopelessness that keeps millions trapped in a cycle of debt. Today, we're digging it up. We're laying out the policy solutions, real, tangible plans like doubling the Pell Grant. That could give you the debt-free future you were promised. It's time to uncover the truth. Before we get to the blueprint itself, we need to understand the sheer scale of the problem and, more importantly, who benefits from keeping things just the way they are. This isn't just about numbers on a spreadsheet, it's about real life. Picture a recent graduate, we'll call her Maya. She did everything she was told to do. Studied hard, got into a good state school, and earned a degree in a promising field. But to pay for it, she had to take out loans. Not for spring break, but for tuition, books, and a tiny room in a shared apartment. Now she's at her first job, but a huge chunk of her paycheck doesn't go towards saving for a home or building a future. It goes straight to a loan servicer. Her life is on hold, all because of a decision she was forced to make at 18. Maya is not alone. There are 42.7 million Americans with federal student loan debt. It's a burden that follows people their whole lives, from young people under 25 shouldering over $90 billion in federal debt, to the nearly 3 million seniors over 62 who are still paying off their loans. So, who are the players keeping this system locked in place? It's a tangled web. You've got the private lending industry, which makes a fortune off interest payments. You've got lobbyists and the politicians who take their money to protect the status quo. And behind it all, you have a powerful ideology that successfully shifted the cost of higher education, once seen as a public good, squarely onto the backs of individual students. The system is also designed to be a nightmare to navigate. You're wrestling with FAFSA forms, different loan types, subsidized, unsubsidized, Parent Plus, and a maze of repayment options. This complexity isn't an accident. It's a feature, not a bug. It makes it harder for people to understand the game, let alone try to win it. When you're just trying to stay afloat, you don't have time to demand fundamental change. And that's why the blueprint we're about to reveal is so critical. It cuts right through the noise with simple, powerful ideas that could change everything. But those ideas are a direct threat to the industries that turned higher education into a debt machine. And that's exactly why they want it hidden. Alright, let's get into the solutions. This isn't a conspiracy theory. These are real, documented policy proposals, debated in Congress and backed by economists. We're going to lay out 3 core pages from this so-called hidden blueprint. The first, and maybe the most powerful solution, is also the simplest: double the Pell Grant. Let's be crystal clear. A Pell Grant is not a loan. It's a grant from the federal government for low and middle income students. For decades, it was the key to an affordable education. Back in the 1970s, the maximum Pell Grant covered more than 75% of the cost of a 4-year public college. Today? It covers less than a third. Think about that. The single most effective tool we have for making college affordable has been left to wither, its buying power absolutely crushed by skyrocketing tuition. The blueprint solution is a bold, straightforward fix. Bills like the Pell Grant Preservation and Expansion Act have been introduced in Congress to not only double the maximum award but also tie it to inflation so its value never gets watered down again. One recent bill, for example, aimed to boost the maximum Pell Grant to $10,000 for the 2025-26 school year. with a goal of hitting $14,000 within 5 years. What would this actually mean for people? For millions of students, it would be the difference between graduating with debt they can handle, or no debt at all. It slashes the amount of money students need to borrow in the first place. This isn't some radical new idea, it's about returning to what we know works. It's restoring the promise that your bank account shouldn't determine your future. So, why the resistance? Because it fundamentally changes the financial model. Less reliance on loans means less profit for lenders. The conversation often gets derailed by scary projections, like a potential $2.7 billion shortfall for the Pell program, which is then used as a reason not to expand it, instead of arguing for more funding. But the truth is, this is an investment that pays for itself with a more educated workforce and a stronger economy. The second page of the blueprint is all about rebuilding our public college system through something called a federal-state partnership, famously proposed as the America's College Promise Act. Here's the brilliant part. The federal government would offer a massive flood of funding to states, often matching a state's investment at a rate of $3 to $1. In return, states would make 2 years of community or technical college 100% tuition-free. Some versions of the plan would also create grants to slash tuition at 4-year historically black colleges and universities, HBCUs, and minority-serving institutions, MSIs. This isn't a pipe dream. States like Tennessee already have their own Promise programs. This would take that proven model and roll it out nationwide. For students, it's a game changer. It makes an associate's degree or a technical certificate as universal and free as a high school diploma. It creates a clear, debt-free runway for the first 2 years of college, which dramatically lowers the total cost of a bachelor's degree for students who transfer. The plan is smart, too. It requires states to keep up their own funding for higher ed so they can't just pocket the federal money. It also makes sure academic credits are fully transferable to 4-year public schools in the state, so you're not left with useless credits. So why is this plan stuck in neutral? It's been introduced in Congress multiple times but hasn't gone anywhere. It requires a ton of political will and coordination between Washington and 50 different states. Opponents yell about federal overreach and the price tag. But what this is really about is a philosophical shift, seeing public college as a public good worth investing in, not just a product to be bought. And that directly challenges the privatization mindset that's been dominant for decades. This last page acknowledges a harsh reality. Even with a bigger Pell Grant and tuition-free community college, some students will still need loans. That means we have to fix the predatory system they're forced into. This comes down to 2 things: real income-driven repayment reform and defending the pathways to forgiveness that already exist. First, repayment. Income-driven repayment, IDR, plans are supposed to be the safety net. They cap your monthly payment based on what you actually earn. The recent SAVE plan was a huge step forward, cutting payments on undergrad loans to just 5% of discretionary income and, crucially, stopping interest from piling up as long as you made your monthly payment. For the 4.5 million borrowers with a $0 monthly payment, it was a lifeline. But even that progress is under attack. Lawsuits have already halted key parts of the SAVE plan, and its future is up in the air. At the same time, powerful policy agendas like Project 2025 are openly calling for the complete elimination of income-driven repayment. That would be catastrophic, ripping away the single most important protection for borrowers who fall on hard times. Second, we have to protect loan forgiveness programs, especially Public Service Loan Forgiveness, PSLF. This is the promise we made to our public servants, our teachers, nurses, firefighters, and nonprofit workers, that after 10 years of payments, their remaining debt would be forgiven. It's how we encourage people to take on vital, but often lower-paying, jobs. And yet, this program is also in the crosshairs. Some recent proposals want to change the very definition of public service, to exclude certain organizations, potentially based on their political views. This would turn a program meant to reward service into a political weapon, pulling the rug out from under hundreds of thousands of people who built their careers around that promise. A system that actually works would streamline PSLF and protect it from political games. Why are these common sense fixes so controversial? Because a forgiving, easy-to-use loan system is a less profitable one. A system where interest doesn't spiral out of control and where public service is rewarded with debt relief puts people over profit. The blueprint solution is to make these programs simple, ironclad, and accessible to everyone, the exact opposite of the maze we have now. So, the blueprint is out. We've laid out the pages, doubling the Pell Grant, creating tuition-free college pathways, and building a loan system that's actually humane. The only question is, what are we going to do about it? Knowing this isn't enough. The people profiting from the current system are counting on you to feel overwhelmed and powerless. But you're not. If this video opened your eyes to what's possible, please do one simple thing: share it. Send it to a friend, a parent, anyone who's dealing with student debt or worried about it. The more people who see this blueprint, the harder it is for them to keep it hidden. And don't stop there. Contact your elected officials. It doesn't have to be some long, formal letter. Just ask them a direct question. What are you doing to make doubling the Pell Grant a reality? Or, why haven't you passed the America's College Promise Act? Make them give you an answer. Finally, join the conversation below. What did we miss? What's your experience been with this system? Sharing our stories and strategies is how we build a movement. And if you want more videos that break down the systems designed to hold you back, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. For years, the conversation about student debt has been twisted to be about your choices. Did you pick the wrong major? Go to the wrong school? Did you just not work hard enough? That's a deliberate distraction. The student debt crisis is not a crisis of personal failure. It is a crisis of policy failure. And as we've laid out today, the policy solutions are right there. They aren't fantasies, they are a practical, achievable blueprint for a future where education is a ladder to opportunity, not an anchor of debt. Imagine a generation of graduates starting their careers not with a mountain of debt, but with a world of possibility. Imagine the innovation, the small businesses they could start, the public service they could perform if they weren't shackled to a loan payment for decades. That is the future this blueprint offers. It's a future where the American dream is no longer for sale. And it's a future we can demand, together. Thanks for watching Money Loop. If you found this helpful, like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe for weekly AI-powered money tips. Thumbs up, likes, speech balloon comments, bell subscriptions.